welcome to our in-person and online service for December 19th, 2021. And our theme today, Light in the Dark. Each year we come to this, the press of days and months accumulating into the year's completion. Each year, the planet tilts all her weary travelers into the dark, shortening days. Each year, the heart yearns and questions and sighs and waits. Each year, we come to this, the gathering of community, the telling of the stories, the rebirth of wonder, the miracle of hope. Across time and space, from wherever you may be, come, let us gather. These opening words were written by one of my Unitarian Universalist colleagues, the minister Leslie Mills. And she wrote it just last week.
Welcome, everyone. On behalf of the entire congregation, I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Shenandoah Valley. I am Gina O'Connor, your worship associate for today's service. We gather today with our doubts as well as our convictions, with our fears and our hopes, with our failures and our aspirations, with our sorrows and our joys. Whether you are joining us today for the first time or you've been a member or friend for many years, we're glad you're here. Whatever faiths you have known, if any, whatever your background, whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived here, you are welcome. And now, as Melina Cretier comes forward, let us say together, here and from our homes, the words for lighting our chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, to share. And I invite you to join us as we say our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help our neighbor. To these ends, we covenant one with another.
And now I invite you to turn to your hymnal for our opening song today, one of the first of a few carols we'll sing together, number 246, O Little Town of Bethlehem.
Yeah. ways we celebrate the Christmas season is with the lighting of the 4 candles of Advent. Advent is the time of 4 weeks leading up to Christmas and in anticipation of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. Each week we light a new candle. The first candle we light is a candle of faith, and let it stand for our faith in ourselves and our children and for the good that is in all people. Let it stand for our faith in the human family and in the promise of a better world for us all. Let the second candle be the candle of hope, and let it stand for all the ideals and aspirations that have given light to people in times of darkness and given strength and courage to us and all people in times of trouble or hardship. Let the third candle be the candle of love. Let it stand for all the tenderness, kindness, affection, forgiveness, and caring that we have ever known and still have hopes to know. Let the fourth candle be the candle of joy, and let it stand for all the faith and hope and love that is in us and will be in the lives of our children. Let this candle stand for all the wonders of the season, for through such joy we see the beauty of life and find peace in our hearts and in the world. Let the fourth candle be the candle of joy. What can we say about Rudolph?
The other reindeer wouldn't let Rudolph play with them, just because he looked a little different from them. They all had black noses. They made fun of his bright, shiny red nose.
I bet that hurt Rudolph's feelings. He felt like he didn't belong with the other reindeer. All of them had a special relationship with Santa Claus. Even their names showed how special they were. Dancer, Dasher, Prancer, Comet, Blitzen, fine names, sturdy names. Those reindeer were strong and fast.
Yeah, and Rudolph was smaller than all of them. His only special quality was his shiny red nose. When Rudolph was always being left out of the fun, he decided, I don't care, let them have their fun. I can have fun by myself.
Did Rudolph want to be included? I bet he did. We all have a wish to belong and to be accepted by those around us. So what happened?
On a foggy Christmas Eve, Santa realized that Rudolph was just the reindeer that he needed to help guide a sleigh full of gifts for all the children of the world. Rudolph's nose had always looked funny to the other reindeer, but on this night, he was the one who had a special quality. He had a special purpose, being the leader of the reindeer, pulling Santa's sleigh through the foggy night.
What did Rudolph say when Santa asked him to lead the pack of reindeer on that night? I wonder if he was scared.
Rudolph might have been scared, but he did the job anyway. Even though it was hard and he didn't really feel like he had any friends who were encouraging him, he just did it anyway. He led Santa's sleigh through the foggy night so that all the presents could be delivered. Then all the reindeer noticed how strong and special Rudolph was too. They all came to love him. After that, they always included him in their games.
He was special after all. Rudolph with that bright, shiny red nose. Wow.
Thank you, Melina and Rachel. And now we invite the choir to come forward for another seasonal song.
So
Into this time, this space, this gathering, to feel the embrace of our beloved Unitarian Universalist community in person and beyond, to feel the support of our beautiful earth beneath our feet, and to enter into a time of silence, just recognizing the complexity of the times that we live in, especially as we've passed the mark in the United States of over 800,000 lives lost to COVID, and a new variant that we know is very contagious, especially to those who are unvaccinated and those who have pre-existing health conditions, the most vulnerable among us. So we want to pause for a moment in silence in recognition of our shared humanity at this particular time on Earth. Please join me in the silence. May we draw upon our deepest compassion and courage so that we may manifest the best that is in us and acknowledge the best in those all around us. Continuing in a quieter portion of the service, I invite you to turn to a meditation carol this morning, number 241 in our hymnal, "In the Bleak Midwinter Will Remain Seated."
Fire by Judy Brown. What makes the fire burn is space between the logs, a breathing space. Too much of a good thing, too many logs packed in too tight, can douse the flames almost as surely as a pail of water would. So building fires requires attention to the space in between as much as to the wood. When we are able to build open spaces in the same way we have learned to pile on the logs, then we can come to see how it is fuel and absence of fuel together that make fire possible. We only need to lay a log lightly from time to time. A fire grows simply because the space is there, with openings in which the flame that knows just how it wants to burn can find its way.
For tens of thousands of years, round the whole of this precious planet of ours, human beings have intimately participated in the cycles of change within the natural world. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, each have their corresponding affinities to the cycles we experience within a human life: birth, growth, aging, and death. Some ideas are born and come to fruition. Others are short-lived. As human creatures of this earth, we fall in love, we come to know loss, we give birth, we grow older. We experience renewal and rebirth at the times when we need it most in this life, the times when everything seems to be giving way, times when we come to know intimately the natural processes of death. We know from our science books that the Earth's seasons are caused not by the rotation of the Earth around the star we call our sun, but by the tilt of the Earth's axis and the relationship of the sun to the Earth's equator. This Tuesday, our part of the world will mark the winter solstice as the longest night of the year, which will then give way to the lengthening of the days once more. This is what ancient humans often thought of as the return of the sun, its re-emergence from a dark time. Our human ancestors were so in tune with the turning of the earth and the shifts between the seasons that they were able to actually build elaborate stone structures to mark this special time when shafts of sunlight penetrated into inner chambers at dawn on the winter solstice. I believe that part of the beauty of the dark season is that it allows us to reconnect with the darker, colder, quieter sides of our own personal lives. It's not uncommon, for example, amidst all of the holiday festivities surrounding us, to still feel a sense of loneliness or emptiness, even when we are able to enjoy some of the festivities ourselves. The longest night and the dark season that holds it offers us a chance to allow the oftentimes hidden parts of our lives to emerge into our awareness. The darkness offers a safety in being with what is often not seen, a quiet time of rest and reflection. Sometimes fresh perspectives and insight can come from withdrawing from the hectic pace of our daily lives. As we now approach the longest night of the year, May we take time to sit in the darkness by ourselves or with others and ponder its meaning and gifts to us. We know the darkness can soothe us to sleep. It can offer a place and time of deep rest. We also know that the dark, rich earth at this time is nurturing the seeds we will be able to see bursting forth in the springtime. The dark time can feel quite barren, but truly it is the seed time for all that is. It is in the dark and deep unknown and unknowable that primal fertility lies waiting to be awakened. I wish for you all this winter solstice a particular gift that comes at the darkest time of the year and of our lives. What seeds of new possibility are being incubated in your life right now as we approach the new year? Can you hear and feel its whisperings? What do you long to emerge in your life as we meet this time of new beginning? Opening our hearts and minds to the light in the dark can be a gift, perhaps even a miracle. The true miracle, which is ongoing life. It's a gift we accept and enjoy when we can trust that our unique lives are held in a greater wholeness of the earth's cycles of ongoing life. Part of my job as a minister here is to offer readings for the beginnings of church meetings, when we light a chalice to remind us that the work we do together is the work of our faith community, not some kind of other group meeting which we may be part of. At this time of year, I often share this reading from our hymnal. It's by Unitarian Universalist minister Greta Crosby, who served congregations in Lynchburg and Roanoke, Virginia, among others. And I'm bringing it up because some members find it perplexing. Hopefully, in the context of our message today, maybe you will find a new meaning there. She writes, "Winter, let us not wish away the winter. It is a season to itself, not simply the way to spring. When trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, they let in the sky and trace themselves delicately against the sunrises and sunsets. Winter dark tends to warm light, fire, and candles. Winter cold to hugs and huddles. Winter want to gifts and sharing. Winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring. Winter tedium to merrymaking. She writes, "Let us therefore praise winter, rich in beauty, challenge, and pregnant negativities." That's what always gets people. Pregnant negativities. In closing, when we come to deeply appreciate the inevitable cycles of the natural world and of our own lives, we can hold the light in the dark, the fullness in emptiness, the warmth within the cold. We can let go of the need to control and shape the course of our lives and instead surrender to the mystery of the seasons, the mystery of life beyond birth and death in its ongoing rhythms. May it be true for each of us. Blessed be.
As Reverend Julie extinguishes the flame, let us say together here and from our homes the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of our community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. The purpose of the church is to encourage all who gather to grow more generous in spirit and action. If you happen to be watching us online, we hope you will consider making an offering after today's service through our webpage, uushenandoah.org. This will allow us to exercise that generosity of spirit for this self-supporting church and its many ministries, which continue during this time when not all of us are able to be together physically. Thank you for joining us today.
And our closing words today, words by the Unitarian Universalist poet, May Sarton. Help us to be the always hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth, as without light, nothing flowers. Stay safe, stay strong. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.